AKA Padders, what's happening? Peter Hate to look here, AKA Pad 69, and we're breaking ground. We're doing something new and original on this channel because we do 90s comic book commentary. A lot of the industry, everything coming out of the 90s, the creators, and today we're talking Rob Liefeld. But I'm your host, AKA Pad. This channel is AKA Pad, and we're here in Philadelphia, PA. And we like Dennis Rodman, Rodzilla. Right? So, guys, Rob Liefeld, you love him, you hate him, you think he's good, you think he's bad, you think he's talented, you don't think he's talented, you think he was, like a flash in the pan. Like he's there sizzling. And Rob Liefeld sizzled so well for so long that that goodwill has cascaded through a couple decades. Guys, when you sell millions and millions and millions of comics during an absolute boom period, that's what the 90s were, you have goodwill. You can carry on and people want to use your name to potentially sell books. So previously on this channel, and AKA Padders, this is something absolutely original. Hey, subscribe, support, you back there. Leave a comment. We got to fight this algorithm. So leave a comment, give me a thumbs up, let me know you're out there. But guys, we already discussed Rob Liefeld's The Shield. Now, here's what we can do. We can take his work on here, right? And we can compare it with another one-shot of the same character by two absolute legends, two absolute icons of the industry. And here's the crazy thing. These names attached to this book are iconic. And if you don't know them, then you really do have to watch more of this channel. Guys, J. Michael Straczynski, Scott McDaniel, right, and Andy Owens as Arnink. These guys take the same idea that Rob Liefeld used here, and we have polar opposite, like they're polar opposite. Here, this is roughly 50 panels. The ones done by the icons, the real icons of comics, this is roughly 100 panels. Same issues, right? Same page count, same whatever, right? But let's compare. Let's see what Rob Liefeld did with the idea. And then let's see what two absolute legends do with the idea. Now, that doesn't mean there's not markets for both. But we can make this comparison, and there's few books you can make this actual comparison with, because The Shield has been floating throughout comic book history for a very long time. I grew up with the legend of The Shield, Impact Comics, DC Comics, okay, and they were rolled into DC proper. They actually had a Who's Who appearance way back. I think, where is it? Like this edition right here had the characters from Impact Comics. So it was like the Web, the Shield, the Comet, I'm forgetting the fourth one. Oh, Jaguar. Those were the characters, but they were actually featured. You could get their profiles in something like this. So they were rolled into DC history, DC continuity, and they were deemed important enough. So it's a significant character. He's been the Shield's been floating around comics for a very, very, very long time. We will get a little bit more detail with the Shield later. Those Impact DC comics I was just referring to, we will be doing a giant. I actually have them a giant stack because I want to introduce that imprint to you guys, because I really feel like it led to the 90s. Like the Shield character really did lead into the 90s, and I will explain that to you in a later video. But today, let's have some fun. Let's do a little bit of an exercise. Let's just see Rob Liefeld versus J. Michael Straczynski and Scott McDaniel. Let's go. There it is, AKA Padders, double Shield. So here's the wild thing. The red circle. This idea is explained in here. This is a major plot point, and I loved the revelation. The Mighty Crusaders 1, the Shield. Previously, we went through this. What Rob Liefeld does with our boy here, he does what he does. he teases that there's an evil version of him in the future, and he's going to have to fight himself. He's going to have to fight another evil version. But along the way, he gets analogs of himself. He gets a team, right? The characters that we know and love. And we're off. And I know Mr. Liefeld intended for this to be like a revelation and to kind of do more with this idea. He had a major falling out with Archie, which is really weird because you hear nothing but good things as Archie, as a straight up company. A lot of Hollywood talent, modern day, has gone through Archie, and that doesn't get said enough. But here we go, guys. Like 50 pages, splash page, right? Like half a page, splash page, double splash page. Like, you guys can kind of see where this is going, right? Splash page. We have splash pages in here. And getting into this, John Higgins, that's our boy. He's in the Middle East. They're fighting terrorism. He's writing a report, and we just learned that his father's been missing for 5 years. So in the second panel, we're setting something up that's going to happen in the very end of this issue. Because it gets revealed that his father is the guy over here that brings him back to life, saves his life, RoboCop style, gives him the SHIELD uniform, which is basically super advanced nanotechnology, but if he's ever removed from the SHIELD, he dies. So he's a little bit of Iron Man, but his father, that's a part of the backstory. So we're already intrigued at the end of this to where, why hasn't the father told the son that he saved his life, and not only that he had to fake his own death? It's major stuff. So anyway, so boy, Mr. Higgins, he gets nuked, and we get these very intelligent panels from Scott McDaniel. Scott McDaniel, guys, you have to look into his Nightwing stuff. It's absolutely fantastic. But we get a lot of long landscape panels, and this does two things. It helps us flow with the action. Okay, we can kind of, again, flow with it. These are a lot of intangibles that it's hard to track, but when we get to the need of dialogue, the long panels, and we can kind of fill up the dialogue a little bit more effectively, but there's a rhythm to it. It's not just the 9-panel grid that we know the Watchmen for. When you decide on a paneling philosophy, paneling position, or maybe what clearly suits the story, you get a little bit of a rhythm with these panels, and I feel like that doesn't get said enough. But we see here, like we see how damaged he is underneath his armor. And like the armor, we kind of just want to say it's not very clear, but it's like it's liquid, it's malleable, but it's also like on him, and it needs to be on him. We don't know in this shot here if he has the armor on underneath, but we're told in basically the briefing here, and we're all over the place, but we're told in the briefing, story wise, right here, that he cannot get out of the armor. He needs to stay inside the armor. But we get some of these, like, again, always judge your artists by how well they can draw small figures. Look how dynamic this is, and look how nice Scott McDaniel here draws the tank. We got the SHIELD leap in here, like really nice poses. I love this hero shot where the Pentagon today unleashed their latest addition to the United States arsenal of advanced weaponry. And he's standing on the Department of Defense shield. It's very cool, everyone. It sings. We get this news story, and we see the father, right? Not revealed to be the father yet, but we kind of see he has a relationship with Higgins. And I love this. So look at this. Look how nice this panel is with the bump of the thumb, and it's almost like a 3/4 bird's eye upshot of the face. I mean, you have to be an illustrator just to nail the lines to communicate this. Like, you have to know what you're doing. And like I said, the action shots, him jumping out of the cargo ship, look, him zooming down, and then like, boom, like, you know, like shake the page. Just the smoke clears, and he is ready to go. Now, look. Scott McDaniel, this is a pose I feel like he struggled with in all his work. Sometimes he nails it, sometimes he doesn't. I think what Scott McDaniels misses sometimes, okay, is, right, like we kind of get that, and maybe like we have to like cut it in so we get just a little bit less of the chunkiness out of there, right? Like this is good, and then maybe like here, like you would kind of maybe bring that in just a little bit, but it's there. Like, it's such a good pose. And the general here is just talking, like he's like, we could take everything over if we just had like a little squad of these guys. So his friend at the barracks basically is like, yeah, I used to work special forces, and we heard about this guy that disappeared. And he's like, look, he used to say that the reason he was so good at what he did was that he could see the circle. You know, and John Higgins is like, what circle? And they kind of talk about just like the circle kind of being everything. So this guy, like, that's like the villain that they're setting up. He's so good with seeing the things in motion, he can see the circle. And then we have like the red circle. I mean, really cool. Like, very intriguing. And I just love these two panels here because what do we have? We have 1, 2 establishing shots setting up that we're in the hospital with one caption, and it just slows it down. It really does. Look, we have the palm trees, so we know we're in the same city. I like it. I like to slow down. I like this panel. I mean, it's just there. And he just looks so sad. Poor guy. Because he can't tell his son who he is and what he did for him. So, in 100 panels, we get this entire setup, this entire story. I want to read more of this. I'm not sure like how many of these came out, what was published connected to this. This is back in 2009, but I want more of these. I'm hoping Scott McDaniel draws all of it. You know, I wish Scott McDaniel drew the cover because the editor in me, like, wants, like, we kind of want the Shield to be like here, right? Like, he should take up this space, but he takes up very little. Mr. Liefeld knows how to do covers. He knows how to design them. He knows how to art direct them. He definitely knows what sells. That's what I mean. I think Liefeld's best position would be in something like this, to where he, you know, like if this comes across his desk, I think Liefeld's absolute skill set is saying, guys, we gotta make this pop. We gotta get some. We gotta get some loins fired up. We gotta start stroking it for our customers, and it needs to be bigger and sexier, and we need better coloring. Rob Liefeld is a great art director. No one says that enough. I feel like we're kind of repeating that a lot in this episode, but I think in 100 panels, in, let's see, how much? $2. How much was this? I can't even see. $3. And then how much was this one? I know a couple years are between it. $4. So for $3, 100 panels. For $4, 50 panels. You have to be able to find ways to add value to your comics. And you do that by putting it all in there, guys. Don't save anything for the next issue. Put all the story in there, and then leave people hungry for the next issue, because I'm absolutely, like, I'm really into this effort. I think these guys did such a crazy good job, and this is our No One's Radar. So guys, get yourself the Shield.